What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new Fantasy Premier League video. And in this video I'll be talking about set piece takers for every Premier League club that will help you for the upcoming fantasy football season. So let's get straight into it, guys. If you like this video, hit that like button, give us a subscribe. I'll be posting lots and lots of fantasy football content in the upcoming days and throughout the season. So let's get straight into it. And up first is Arsenal. Now on corners for Arsenal will be Saka, Willian and Pepe. Free kicks will be Xhaka and Willian, and on penalties it's either Aubameyang or Lacazette, depending who is on the field. But Willian probably won't start for Arsenal, so free kicks will be Xhaka and corners will be Saka and Pepe. Now for Aston Villa, corners will be Traore and Buenda, their new signing. Free kicks will be El Ghazi, Traore and Buenda, and penalties will be either Ings or El Ghazi. I think Ings will be taking the penalties. He's been very consistent with Southampton. And after spending 30 million on Ings, I think he will be taking the penalties. Moving on to Brentford, newly promoted team. On corners is Jansen and Mbembo. Free kicks is Jansen, Tony and Mbembo. And on penalties is Tony. Of course, Tony is the most owned striker in the game at 6.5 million. Moving on to Brighton. And on corners, it's Grob or Trossard. Free kicks, it's Grob, Trossard or Dunk. And on penalties, it's Grob. So Grob, as you can see here, is their main set piece taker. Moving on to Burnley. On corners, it's either Westwood or McNeil. Free kicks, Brownhill or McNeil. And on penalties, it's Barnes or Wood. Wood being their more preferred penalty taker. Moving on to Chelsea. Corners, Mason Mount. Free kicks, Mason Mount. And penalties, Jorginho or, of course, Chelsea's new signing, Lukaku, who has his medical today. Moving on to Crystal Palace. Corners, Milivojevic or Eze. And Eze is out injured but is expected to be back in the coming weeks. Free kicks, Milivojevic or Eze. And penalties, Milivojevic or Zaha. Now if Milivojevic is not on the field, Zaha will be taking penalties. Moving on to Everton. Corners, Townsend, Rodriguez or Digne. Free kicks, Rodriguez or Digne. And penalties will be Richarlison. Moving on to Leeds. Corners, Rafinha, Harrison and Phillips. Free kicks, Rafinha and Phillips, and penalties is Bamford. Moving on to Leicester. Corners, Maddison and Tielemans. Free kicks, Maddison and Tielemans, and penalties. We all know Vardy and Iheanacho can both take penalties, but Vardy is the preferred penalty taker. Moving on to Liverpool. And I think Liverpool are one of the most consistent teams who stick with corner, free kicks and penalty takers, with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson taking corners from the left and the right. Free kicks, Arnold has been taking all of them recently, and penalties, of course, Salah is nailed on penalty taker. Moving on to Man City. Corners, Mahrez, De Bruyne and Foden. Free kicks, Mahrez and De Bruyne. Penalties, Mahrez and De Bruyne. Now we know De Bruyne and Foden are currently out injured, so it looks like Mahrez will be their main set piece taker for the first few weeks. Moving on to Man United. On corners is Fernandes and Shaw. Free kicks, Fernandes and Shaw. And penalties, Fernandes. Now we know Fernandes will be taking the close-in free kicks, with Shaw taking free kicks that are out wide, like he has been doing for Man United last season and for England. Moving on to Newcastle. Corners, Fraser, Shelvey and Ritchie. Free kicks, Shelvey and Ritchie. And penalties, of course, is Callum Wilson. Norwich. Corners, Gilmore. Free kicks, Dowell, and on penalties is Pukki, that familiar face that we seen a few years ago in the Premier League, and he's back, Pukki. Southampton. Corners, Ward-Prowse. Free kicks, Ward-Prowse, and penalties, Ward-Prowse. So Southampton are probably one of the only teams who has one player that takes every set piece. Moving on to Tottenham. Corners, Son. Free kicks, Kane and Son. Penalties, Kane and Son. Now we don't know what the story is with Kane yet. Is he moving? Is he changing clubs? We do not know. If he does, it looks like Son will be their main set piece taker. Moving on to Watford. Corners, Cleverley and Sema. Free kicks, Cleverley and Sema. Penalties, Deeney or Sarr. Moving on to West Ham. Now corners will be Cresswell or Bowen. Free kicks, Cresswell and Benrahma. And on penalties will be Noble, Rice or Antonio. And our last team is Wolves. And on corners, Wolves will be Moutinho or Trincao. Free kicks will be Neves, and penalties will be Jimenez or Neves. So there you go, guys. That's just a roundup of all the set piece takers for every club in fantasy football for the upcoming season. Like I said, if you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. There'll be lots and lots of fantasy Premier League videos coming up. Thank you. Have a great day.